Romeo, what up? Saturday Night Online. What's up? It's Lunch Money Lewis, and I'm here to provide and answer some questions that lovely people have asked me. So I'm going to look through these. Let's see what's going on. All right, Ethan from Texas said, "When will your next song come out? I told my whole school about you, and now the teachers even play bills in the class sometimes." Wow, that is amazing. Shout out to you, Ethan, and your whole class. I don't know the name of your school, but your teacher's awesome. I wish my teacher would have played songs in class. But we're actually working on the EP right now, and it will be out soon, very soon. I don't want to give you a date because I don't want to lie to you, but you can expect some new music from me very, very, very soon. Very soon. And shout out to your teacher again, and keep playing bills in class. Sean from Grand Rapids said, "What is the top thing on your bucket list?" Top thing on my bucket list. Maybe to go around the world and play music, man. I want to visit every continent of this planet and bring joy and music and fun to you guys. So when I get that done, I'll let you know, Sean, you know, when I scrape that off my bucket list. All right. Sophie from London, London town. "Do you like traveling? If so, where is your favorite place to visit?" Funny you say that, Sophie from London. I love to travel. I love to go different places. I've been to London. That's one of my favorite places. I love going to Jamaica. But I want to visit, I think I want to visit more of Europe and more of Africa and more of South America. I want to, visit everywhere. I love traveling. So wherever you guys have me, I will be. But thank you, Sophia from London town. Alex from Boston. "Who would you like to work with in the future?" Well, Alex, I get asked this question a lot, and I always say anybody who wants to work, man. I'm a big fan of a lot of people in the music, and it's so hard for me to answer specifically one person, but I love and appreciate so many people in like pop culture and in hip hop and in R&B and so I'm really open to anybody, man. You next time you ask me, tell me you guys tell me who you want me to work with, but I'm definitely open to work with anybody. But thanks, Alex from Boston. Jamal from Toronto. All right, Canada. "What are your guilty pleasures?" Guilty pleasures. What are some of my guilty pleasures? It's funny. I mean, now that I do pop music, I mean, not now, but I've always been a fan of pop culture. When you're younger with your homies and you're rolling with your boys, you don't want to tell them that you like NSYNC songs or you like certain songs on the radio and Backstreet Boys songs and things of that nature. And you know them, it's kind of like, you didn't want to listen to Jodeci. You didn't want to let people know certain things. So, like, even growing up, those are my guilty pleasures. Like, certain, like, Britney Spears songs I thought that were catchy and, like, dance songs that I thought were dope. But now I'm grown and I love them. But those are, like, my guilty pleasures. Like, certain songs where you, like, can't play with your friends, But now you listen to them and you don't care. But that's some of my guilty pleasures. I would say pop music. Like, very, very happy, smiley pop music. But thank you, Jamal from Toronto. Charlotte from New Orleans. Love New Orleans. Great jazz. Place for great jazz. How would you describe your musical style in 3 words? 3 words. I would say funky. I would say fresh. And I would say joyful. Funky, fresh, and joyful, Charlotte. We're going to bring the funk. We're going to keep it fresh. And we're going to, be joyful and have some fun. You know what I mean? But thank you, Charlotte from New Orleans. All right. Now we have Brittany from Houston. "Did you come up with the concept for the Bills video? I love it." Well, first of all, thank you. And second of all, I came up with some ideas for the video, and the director, Emil Nava, came with some ideas, and my team came with ideas, and we meshed our ideas together, and that's how we got the Bills video from just, us brainstorming together, sharing ideas, and we came up with that concept and we ran with it. And obviously you love it, and I thank you for loving it because we, put a lot of time into it. But yeah, that's basically it. We just brainstormed and came up with something. Thank you, Brittany from Houston. Mike from Philadelphia. What was it like working with Nicki Minaj? Oh man, it was dope. I actually met Nicki one time when I played her the hook originally, and she was a really nice person and sweet, and was really cool. You know, she's incredible, and it was dope for her and letting her allow me to get on the song and stay on the song. So shout out to Nicki, and hopefully, and I know we're gonna work again in the future. Mike from Philadelphia. Um, Thanks for that question. That was awesome. Kayla from Columbus, Ohio. Where were you the first time you heard Bills on the radio? I was actually I was in the studio working, and my manager called me and said, "Yo, Bills is gonna play on the radio." I said, "No way!" And then I ran outside to the car and I turned it on. I turned on to the radio station to a Kiss, and I heard Bills for the first time, and I was very shocked. I was like, "Wow." You know, it was like exciting and it was dope. And I was like I was in the car just like, you know. But yeah, I was in the car and I heard it the first time and it was a blessing, man. So shout out to Kiss. Kayla from Columbus, thanks for that question. Woo! We getting through it. This one has no name, but as a question. I can't read. How has coming from a musical family affected how you grew up and your aspirations? Man, that's an awesome question. It really affected my aspirations. It made me want to strive to be amazing and great and to work hard at anything I want to do. Um, how was it coming from a musical family? It was fun. Like, you know, a lot of music around the house, a lot of music at parties, a lot of music at family gatherings, constantly talking about music and how to get better at things. And it was fun. It could come with its challenges. You know, we're all competitive and especially being family, you know, but it's great, man. It's really awesome. And shout out to my dad for being, you know, like my superhero. Thank you, no name person. I don't know who you are, but great question. Um, Chris from Atlanta, ATL. What's something about you that we'd be shocked to find out? Well, Chris from Atlanta. Uh, I wrote a song. My first song I ever co-wrote in my life was a song on Mystikal's Greatest Hits album. And I was maybe 16 years old. And the song was, I don't know if I could say this online. It was called Poppin', P Poppin'. I don't want to, you know, disclose too much, but it was a little raunchy, but nobody could believe I was so young writing a song like that and co-writing something. But that's something you guys might not know. That was my first credit ever in my life. Shout out to Mystikal, you know, classic, and got to collaborate with him on that. Thank you, Chris from Atlanta. Tom from Gainesville, Florida. That's where I'm from, Miami, Florida. Tom, Gainesville, down the road. Would you consider yourself a Southern gentleman? Definitely. You know, I love to open the door for the ladies. I love to, you know, I'm a raincoat over the puddle type of guy. Gotta be a gentleman nowadays, man. Ladies, chivalry is not dead. It's not dead. Thank you, Tom from Gainesville. Clara from New York, the Big Apple. What are your favorite TV shows as of this moment? I'm a big Netflix guy. I think we all are. You know, Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, The Wire, you know, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I still love Martin, the Wayans brothers. You know, it's so many TV shows. Right now, like, you know, I've been digging into Game of Thrones and, you know, Boardwalk just ended. So those are some of my favorites, you know. Thank you, Claire from New York. Allison from Salt Lake City. Do you prefer pancakes or waffles? Amazing question. Let me take a sip of water on that question right here. That's an elaborate question. It depends on the day. It depends on the day. If I'm at, okay, let me see. I'll give this type of answer. You see, I get very eccentric when it comes to the food. If it's a day like Denny's, I get pancakes. But if I'm at IHOP, matter of fact, switch it around. If I'm at Denny's, I get waffles or French toast. But if I'm at IHOP, House of Pancakes, pancakes. Thank you, Allison from Salt Lake City. Amber from Scottsdale. Who are your musical inspirations? Woo. So many to name. First, I'd say my dad. You know, reggae like Bob Marley, Jacob Miller, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Biggie, uh, Tupac, Jay, Nas. Um, so it's so many. It's so many to name. I would sit here all day. There's so many people who influenced me. You know, from rock to Zeppelin to to Sting to like Peter Gabriel to to Genesis to Phil Collins. I mean, it's I listen to everything, so it's a big cluster of everybody, and I steal from everybody and try to come up with my own stuff. But those are some of them. Thank you, Amber from Scottsdale. Um, Justin from Nashville. Justin from Nashville. Would you ask Nikki to be featured on one of your songs since you were on one of hers? That's a good question, and I haven't asked her yet, and I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully she'll bless me one day. I think it would be a dope collab, but for right now, I'm happy that she let me to get on one of her songs, and if it happens like that, it happens. But that is an awesome question. Good job putting that in the air. Thank you, Justin from Nashville. Nikki from Portland. What is your songwriting process like? Very good question. Um, Really, it could vary. Sometimes I get an idea before I get in the studio and I write it down, and I can't wait to tell someone about it so I could flesh the concept out. Or sometimes I get in there and I let the music drive me, and I write. I'm big on writing what comes to me first. Because I feel like that's from the divine to you. It's always good to go with your gut feeling and go with how you feel. Your instinct, your first instinct. So I mean, it could vary, but that's mostly it. I like to go with what hits me first and what comes to me, and if it, I roll with that. Sometimes if it isn't good, you take a little break, you come back, but it can vary. But it's fun. I love writing, and it's a process that continues to change and continues to grow. You know. But thank you, Nikki from Portland. That was an amazing question. Frankie from Vernon. From Vernon. Do you produce your own music as well? I actually do production. I do writing. Ricky Reed actually was the executive producer of the album, so Ricky did bills, and we worked in tandem together. I'm very involved on the production aspect. I give tips and what I think we should do on this break and things like that. But I definitely produce and write. I do both. I may get back into doing some more production for this year coming. But yeah, I dabble. I dabble, Frankie. Thank you, Frank. Um, Kylie from Charleston. Where did you get the name Lunch Money Lewis? Well, the name Lunch Money I got from my boy Salam Remy, who's a mentor of mine, amazing producer. You should wiki him, look up his catalog, very dope. When I was young, he called me Lunch Money. He called me, he was getting a haircut one day, and he was just like, I was chilling with him. He was like, yo, if I was like a little chubby dude like you, I'd name myself Lunch Money. And, the whole room looked around. People started calling me Lunch, and, everybody started saying Lunch, and that's how it stuck, Lunch Money. And Lewis is actually my actual last name. My name is Gamal Lewis, and I took Lunch Money and put Lewis together like, psh, here we are, Lunch Money Lewis. Thank you, Kylie. Okay. Bethany from Milwaukee. Sip of water. Let's see. Bethany from Milwaukee. Did you write bills knowing that people would immediately relate to it? At the time, honestly, no. The idea hit me, and it was actually relating to myself. But then, as we finished the song, and I thought about it after, I was like, wow, a lot of people can relate to this, obviously, because we all have bills. But at the time, it was my experience. And, thank God that other people can relate to it. So, of course, we all have bills. But at the time, I didn't, It was more of how I felt. But that was a great question. Thank you, Bethany from Milwaukee. Dylan from Toledo. What is your favorite scene from the Bills video? Haha, that's a good one. I think playing the different characters, that day we got up early. It's like a 6 o'clock call time, and I did the postman first, and I did the postman, then I did the window washer, and then I did the gardener. I did the gardener. I did the mechanic. Just doing the different outfits was like the most fun and most like rewarding part. Also, like the best part. It was a lot of like changing and outfit changing and swapping, but that was definitely my favorite part from from the video, and definitely my favorite scene to answer your question is the mechanic scene. Probably me hitting myself in the head with that wrench over and over, uh, um, and tripping over that thing a couple times. But that was definitely the most fun. Thank you, Dylan. Um, Maria from Los Angeles, from LA. Um, who's your celebrity crush? My celebrity crush. There's a lot of good ones out there. So Maria, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Any one of them that kind of want a teddy bear in their life can have a teddy bear in their life. You should ask them who their celebrity crush is. But it should be me. But just to keep it real, I'm not sure. There's a lot of beautiful women in the world. I want to meet all of you and see, have good conversations and share stories. But not one in particular. I love them all. Thank you, Maria. Lauren from San Diego. When will you have a full album ready to release? Woo! Well, I'm finishing the EP right now. And the EP will be ready for you guys to listen to very, very soon. Extremely soon. So I don't want to give you a date, but it's very soon. It might surprise you. Thank you, Lauren. Seth from Orlando, another Florida homie from Miami, Orlando. See what you're doing. How did you link with Nicki Minaj to work on Trinity Them Girls? Well, Nicki had a camp. Sometimes artists want people to come in and give them fresh ideas and, to listen to records. And Dr. Luke brought me in to do some hooks. And I did the hook to Trinity Them Girls and played it for her. And we finished it and she liked it. And she, wrote her raps to it and put her parts to it. And we kept collaborating and got it right. And voila, that's how it happened. But I would credit, the writing camp to Luke and them bringing me in to work on the song. So shout out to Dr. Luke. And shout out to you, Seth, for that ill question. Phil from Providence. Okay. Do you have a special place you like to go write? When I'm in Miami, when I'm home, there's a friend of mine who has a house that we built into a little studio called the Pink House. And it's like right on the water. It's kind of really cool. It's like a little beach house we have, and I write good stuff there. I kind of get away from I feel good there. I get away from all the like pressures of home and the music industry, and I just freely write. I've written a lot of dope songs there for other people, rap hooks that you guys might know. We did Big Homie there. We did, Off the Corner for Meek Mill there, and like, a lot of different stuff there. And it's always been a fun place to just chill and write. But yeah, the Pink House. Katie from San Francisco. Describe your perfect date. Well, a perfect date would be, me picking her up, us going to get like a very good meal, like bon appetit kind of, or maybe she could come over and I cook for her, and we watch a movie, laugh a little bit, something chill, or it could be something like we can go to an art gallery and look at some art, and it could vary. It's up to her. Whatever she wants, I'm gonna please her. So anything she wants to do. So let me know, Katie, what you want to do, and we'll do it if you're available. But shout out to Katie. Thank you. Perfect question. Sophie from the United Kingdom. Who's your favorite artist out right now? I can't say. There's so many people I really like, man. There's so many dope artists, like new artists and artists who've been out. It's really hard to like put a. I think Ed Sheeran's amazing, man. I think he's a dope songwriter, and I really love his stuff. There's so many people, man. A lot of people. It's hard to name. I love what Bruno does. I love what Kanye does. I love what like Jay does. I love what like what hip hop J. Cole's doing, and Kendrick, and a lot of those dudes, man, putting integrity into their music and doing what they believe in. It's inspiring. So it's a lot of people. But thank you for that question. Ricky from Brooklyn, BK all day. Where do you hope to be in 5 years? Hopefully putting out about two or three albums in. Hopefully, touring the world, performing all over the world. Hopefully a couple trophies, a Grammy or two or something, wishful thinking. And really just getting art out to the world, man, and putting art out, and hopefully to still be around making music for you guys to enjoy. But that's basically it. Touring the world, traveling, doing some performances, and coming out and rocking the stage for y'all, man. But thank you for that, Ricky from Brooklyn. So we come to the end. Yeah, we've come to the end. That's all you guys' questions. Well, thank you for submitting your questions to me. I really enjoyed doing this. Shout out to Saturday Night Online. Romeo, this was amazing. This was mad fun. Let's do it again. Peace and love.